Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE NXT on January the 20th, 2016. And actually, this NXT wasn't too terribly bad. You had some decent, you did have some decent promos going in there, leading into things for the next week, and the aspect of Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Samoa Joe all having matches on the show to promote and set up for the triple threat number one contendership match the next week was not a bad way of going. It was kind of showing everybody you saw like Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn in like a more vulnerable light in their matches, while they perceived Joe as this crazy dominant force going into next week's match, where he had offense put up against him, but it's like he just shrugged it off the entire match. Where like you saw, Baron Corbin was in trouble throughout his a little bit throughout his match. Sami Zayn made the weaker of the three in the matches itself, where he seemed to be in a little bit more trouble in his match versus Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn. I like this aspect of where they went with it. And again, it's kind of making you perceive like who's the actual dominant one going into the triple threat match the next week. I liked where they went with everything there. The three matches themselves were I felt were pretty good in their own general light. They weren't anything spectacular. They were kind of just there for the purposes of telling the story of them going, having all three of those guys having a match and trying to build momentum going into the triple threat the next week. The matchup with Bayley and Carmella going up against Emma and Alexa Bliss. First of all, I kind of liked the promo that they set up for Bayley and Carmella backstage, and they had a brief promo as well with Emma and Alexa Bliss, which was an okay promo in their sense. What I liked about the Carmella Bayley one was the aspect of Dash and Dawson getting involved and kind of semi-continuing their storyline going into with Enzo and Cass, along with trying to get under Carmella's skin in this case. They've done a pretty good job with this one, and I am kind of shocked that they're going to continue on with this storyline. I thought they were going to have Dash and Dawson go after a different tag team somewhere down the road here, but it looks like they're going to keep that story going with Enzo and Cass. Not a bad way of going. They definitely made it look like they were continuing it next week. They just solidified that a little bit more this week by having Dash and Dawson do their thing. I also like the aspect of Bayley trying to play the cooler head and trying to calm down Carmella going into the match itself. I liked how that match actually went off. They made Carmella look strong in this case, where Bayley was made to look weak throughout the entire match, taking the brunt of the damage, and Carmella going out there to finish off the match and get the win for the team. Not necessarily a bad way of going in that sense. I feel like since it didn't look like they were building tension really quick, I don't think they're going to do a long-standing feud with Carmella and Bayley at this juncture in time. It's probably more of a filler storyline for Bayley, setting up to whatever the next NXT special is, or whatever her match is going to be for the next NXT special, and we'll see who they'll be with that one. This is why I had no real issue with the fact that Carmella was the one out of nowhere to get this number one contendership. Mainly because you didn't want to throw it out there so quickly with Asuka and Bayley, and you've seen Eva Marie and Bayley before. So who would they really have next? Yeah, you kind of have this aspect of two best friends going at it at this point. So we'll see if they decide to build any tension, or if it's just going to be like one of those matches where they have the match and then it's kind of that in the end. We'll see if it starts building tension or anything in that sense down the road here. The other area of the night that I ended up liking a lot in the end as well was the Matt. Well, you had Ty. Was it Ty Dillinger that he went with? Yes, it was Ty Dillinger going up against Apollo Crews. I don't know why I forgot that. The show just ended. But the match with Ty Dillinger and Apollo Crews, okay match, nothing spectacular, but it was the promo afterwards of setting up another match, which was a great match way back with Finn Balor and Apollo Crews. And the aspect that, you know, they still did it in a way that they don't want to necessarily turn Apollo Crews into trying to challenge Finn Balor, because they're going to obviously keep both of these guys as faces throughout the entire thing. So he kind of respectfully asked for a rematch, because, you know, and he threw it out there as he's not one that likes to leave matches ending in disqualification and everything like that. So he wants to know. He has to know. And then, you know, them going out there, and then having Finn Balor have a promo later on in the show with stating the fact that it's like, we went to Regal and they made the match. So obviously they make the matches based off of, unlike where they were making matches the night before with or on Monday night with whoever can make a match. It's like, no, we went to Regal, match is gonna happen, everything like that. So hey, what do you know? The authority figure actually works and doesn't have to show up on the screen at all times. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. So overall, this week's NXT, not a bad show. Nothing spectacular. Nothing great by any stretch of the imagination. Just some decent wrestling going in there, and some decent stories setting up for the week ahead. You also had the fun. I would say fun promo with Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, and now they're calling themselves the American Alpha, which actually isn't a bad way of going, because they went off of how they were, like, Gable was an Olympian and Jordan was an NCAA guy. I liked where they went with that. I liked the promo from Blake and Murphy afterwards, but basically making fun of everything and, you know, setting up that match for the next week as well. So you had some good stuff in there, but like I said, nothing spectacular, nothing overly great. But you had some good stuff in there this week from NXT, and, you know, like I said, I've been enjoying NXT far more than I've been enjoying almost all of the other wrestling out there right now. So, or at least all the other wrestling that I have the time to take to watch at this point in time. So, because there's just there's so many hours in the day, and I can't watch it all in that sense. So, again, that is my review for WWE NXT. I thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.